Due to the impact of COVID-19, we're currently facing a new reality with expansive change happening every single day. You might be struggling to know what to lean into right now. Jodie Baker, founder of Heal You, has created the Corona Insights podcast to help ease your information overwhelm. Jodie is consuming, filtering, and sharing vast information from many sources she's validated over years of experience, so you can quickly stay up to date with these short podcasts. Jodie uses her natural intuitive abilities to help you get up to speed on the invisible possibilities ahead and integrate the new corona reality we are living in.
Hi lovely people, thanks for joining me in today's podcast. I want to speak to you today about something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and it's getting louder and louder every single day. And today it was screaming at me. And it was when I was sitting in the backyard, relaxing in the sun, kids were playing around, laughing, just really taking in the joy of slowing down, like all of the silver lining things that everyone's been talking about on social media, connecting to ourselves, connecting to our kids, not being in the rat race, not rushing, just stopping and appreciating, smelling the roses, being in the moment, all that stuff. And I know I'm not alone in feeling this. I can read through my feed on social media and see that that's quite prevalent. We're all kind of feeling it a little bit. Of course, I don't want to discount the fact that we're all still terrified what's going on, but we can't stay in that dark place constantly, can we? We have to sort of look at the positives or the silver linings in order to survive and to move forward. But at the moment, we're definitely seeming to be, in my world anyway, what I'm exposed to in my reality, it seems to be a real sense of settling in and looking for the positives. And I had that overwhelm. It was so intense that it was joyful. Like I had this incredible sense of joy. And then suddenly it hit me, and the guilt of that joy was just so massive, because I know that I am in a really protected Western society that is run by a government that is doing its best to help us, to look after us. What of the untold millions of people that are already suffering massively due to this COVID-19 situation? They are in countries where governments couldn't give a stuff about them. They're massively corrupt and they don't even hide it. B, the population is just so massive that they couldn't even look after the people even if they wanted to. I heard the stats the other day about how many hospital beds there are per capita or per person in this country compared to more sort of third world type countries, like I think it was in India, and it was a fraction. I don't know the stats off the top of my head. I wish I could recall them, but I can't. But suffice to say that we are in a much better position with our medical services and our medical facilities than most other countries. We are blessed. So of course we can set aside the negative thoughts for a moment to enjoy the silver linings of what's going on right now, because we can. But I want to bring up the other people. I want to bring up the suffering, not because I want to ruin your day or bring us down or stay in the dark and be negative, because I feel like they need to be acknowledged. I feel like, this isn't something I'm suggesting for you to do. I guess I'm actually just expressing this as my only way to try and make sense of this and to find peace in my mind, because I'm battling this guilt and this joy, and it's driving me crazy. And I suppose at the moment, expressing my feelings through this podcast is what I'm doing. And thank you for supporting me and listening to it as I try and find my voice with this podcast. So we need to acknowledge it. We need to know about it. I don't want to put our heads in the sand, but I also don't want us to stay in the negative. And I spoke to my mum about it today, just telling her how I was feeling, and she looked at me in her very wise way. She said exactly what I just said before, is that, people don't really want to be brought down and think about that right now, because there's nothing you can do. Like, what can you actually do? And I suppose in many ways that she's right. I can't really do anything about that. But what can I do? Well, I guess if we all, the one thing that we can do is maybe think about what's in our own street. I can't help what's happening across the world right now. I could probably donate a little bit of money, but I can't physically do anything. But I can help who's in my street. If we all just found a need that was right in front of us and filled it and fulfilled it, then we know that at least the planet is in the right direction, that it's chipping on the point of what we need to be doing, which is uniting and being one and helping and thinking of others and getting out of this concept that we are individuals, because this individualized sort of feeling that we've had over the last forever really is what's making us sad. It's the fact of connection is what makes us happy. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before, and I'm digressing a little bit here, but I want to talk about that book Tribe. And the book Tribe was investigating why in these privileged countries like Australia and England and all that sort of stuff, there's such high suicide rates and such high rates of depression. But then alternatively, or on that flip side, you've got people who are post-war, like Bosnia and Serbia, who think back to their war times as some of the most happiest. Yes, obviously there was, huge tragedy, but they think of the positives only and how they felt in it. And the reason why that was the case, and the author explored it and extrapolated the idea right out, is because the humans need to feel needed. They need to feel like they are helping, that they are useful. We need to help each other. It's the spirit of community is what makes the humans happy. It's what we're meant to be. It's our default mechanism. We're so far away from this default mechanism of community in this separate, jungle, this every man for himself type jungle, that it's impossible for us to even help one another. So what I'm saying here is, first of all, I want to acknowledge the suffering. I feel really joyful and I'm really lucky, and I feel guilty about that, and I don't know what to do, but I want to just say that I acknowledge that it is happening. I want to say that I'm going to look deeper into what's around me so I can see some needs and maybe I can fill it. That's about all I want to say today. I just want to say that. I love you all very much, and let's all try and stay positive. Let's all stay connected. Let's all learn to love ourselves so we can love each other more, and then as a planet we can rebuild, as I always say, a new earth that looks after all of us, not just the tiny little measly 1%. See you later.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. And if you'd like more information on Jodie and her work as a self-healing mentor, please go to www.healyou.me.